Budgeting will either keep you poor or change your life.
78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That's 6% up from the past year. There's nothing wrong with living paycheck to paycheck, but it's very important to understand the power of budgeting, guys.
And if you don't, you'll just be stuck in that vicious paycheck to paycheck cycle forever.
You see, when you're young, it's very important to know how to budget, and the sooner you start, the better your life will be.
Budgeting gives you a sense of freedom and a peace of mind. If you don't know where your money is going, how can you know how much you truly have?
A lot of us know how much our paycheck is gonna be because we're either salaried or we can easily calculate the amount of hours we work times our pay. Okay, so that's super easy. So if it's easy to see how much you make, shouldn't it be easy to see how much you spend as well? The cons of not budgeting could be that you're overspending the amount of money because you don't know what your poor spending habits are. Yeah, you know you're broke and shouldn't be eating out. But can you actually tell me how much amount of money you spent on takeout last month?
A lot of us aren't broke. We are just spending more than we can afford because we don't know how much we spend on the key buckets of life expenses. For example, when I was starting out, I was 22 years old, fresh out of college. I was able to swipe my card for everything that I wanted without even having to think twice. This was amazing. I could eat out as much as I want. I was going on expensive night with friends. I was buying amazing, cool things that I just wanted, and I honestly could because I had the funds for it. But what I didn't realize is fast forward a year later, I had nothing to show for all the money that I made. I had no investment, no assets, no savings, just liability. Liabilities on things that I no longer wanted, and they simply just had no value. And the worst was that as a 22-year-old with basic living expenses, I had no savings left after an entire year. I spent it all away and I didn't even know where it went because I did not keep track.
And my story is very similar to his. I was working multiple jobs, making a lot of money, and as time went by, I started to realize the importance of budgeting because I was just wasting my money on stupid things I really didn't need, like eating out, buying branded clothes, and then I would just end up working long hours to make up the money I just spent. Guys, I was stuck in this never-ending cycle, and then I realized this is not it, guys. This is not it. I started doing some research, talking to some family members, some friends around me, and I very quickly realized everyone was stuck like me in this never-ending cycle. And I thought to myself, there has to be a way out of this, and the way out is to keep track of your expenses.
Here's how I solved my budgeting issue. The first month I started budgeting, I was astonished on how much money I was actually spending. It was way more than I thought, but it was starting to make sense now. I saw my money going in every direction possible. So then I made a conscious effort on every single Monday morning to go through my past week of expenses on my credit cards and my bank statements and notate all of those down into my expense sheet. Doing this weekly allows me to recap what I spent my money and create a game plan going forward. I know exactly how many days are left in the month and how much I have left in budget to spend on each category.
And after a lot of trial and error, I started tracking every single dollar that was going out of my bank account, and if there's a way I can save it. I noticed I was paying for 9 different subscriptions I didn't even need. So I started cutting out all my expenses one by one, and boom, I noticed a big change in my life. For the first time, I had money saved over in my account. And so I wasn't really stressed about any unexpected expenses coming my way. For example, my car breaking down, or any unexpected medical bills or speeding tickets.
Within just 1 month, since we were tracking our spending habits, we had started to actively make smarter choices in our spending, which led to a direct impact in our savings account. We were saving hundreds of dollars every single month, whereas before, if we weren't keeping track of all this, we would have just spent it away.
So for those who are watching right now and are stuck in that never-ending cycle of living from paycheck to paycheck, and you really want to get out of it and relieve some of that financial burden or stress, start budgeting today.
And if you don't know where to start, Google Sheets actually has a free template that you can go into, and that's how I started. It gives you sections to where you can label each expense, like your rent, your bills, your food expenses, and on the right side they'll give you the numbers and it automatically calculates all the expenses added up at the bottom, and they have 2 amazing charts at the top to show where your savings started and where your projected savings are. And on the right side of the chart, you can also see how much money is coming in. So guys, get started on budgeting as soon as possible because your money is just gonna keep getting washed away in every which direction. I know times are tough, but you have to be able to stretch your dollar as far as possible. And the only way you can really do that is to keep track of where your dollar is going.
Alright guys, that was it for today. And if you guys feel like you guys got a 1% better today, please like and subscribe this video.
And remember, success is rarely accidental, so take the necessary steps to succeed. See you guys
Peace.
next time.